My teacher called my mother because I refused to eat M. And Ms. It's my first time really using Reddit, so I apologize if it's not the best formatted. I was recently reminded of a malicious compliance I did as a kid. For context, I have an extremely bad peanut and tree nut allergy. If I eat or touch peanuts or nuts, I can go into anaphylactic shock, meaning my throat closes up and basically I'll choke to death. I carry an EpiPen with me at all times because of this. Additional information on this teacher: she hated children, like the type of teacher who yells at kids if they got something incorrectly. For the sake of keeping everything anonymous, I'll call her Mrs. Idiot and refer to myself as me. With that out of the way to the story, I was in first grade, and by this time I had a good grasp on how bad my peanut and nut allergy was. Always read labels, never eat others' home-cooked meals, and that I shouldn't trust someone just because they say, "I don't think it has nuts in it." If you don't know, then don't offer those foods to small children who may not know any better. It was first grade and I was having fun colouring something on paper waiting for my teacher. As I was finishing drawing, my teacher got out a fun activity worksheet involving candy. If I remember correctly, it involved counting or something math-related. As she was passing out the worksheets and candy, I noticed that they were M&Ms, which I'm allergic to. The interaction went something like this. Me: Mrs. Idiot: I can't have these, I'm allergic. Mrs. Idiot: they're original M&Ms, they don't have peanuts in them. Me: but my mom says I'm allergic to the originals too. Mrs. Idiot: they're fine, you can have them. To this day, I don't know why a teacher would ever tell a kid with allergies to eat something the kid thinks or knows they're allergic to. Also, while original M&Ms don't have peanuts or nuts directly in them, they're made on the same equipment as peanut M&Ms. This exchange went on for a while, with the idiotic teacher telling me that they're fine, and me saying they're not. I think the teacher actually believed I was purposely trying to annoy her. Mrs. Idiot: if you don't start behaving, I'm going to call your mother, and you will be in big trouble. Younger me realized that my mom was just going to say the same thing. Instead of telling her that, I sat there and smiled at the teacher and said, "Okay, call her." I remember wondering why the teacher just didn't believe me. Looking back, that teacher definitely hated being told she was wrong, especially by a first grader. The idiot teacher looked annoyed but smug, I guess thinking that my mum would yell at me for not wanting to die or have a giant needle put in my thigh and being rushed to the hospital. Now, I don't know the full exchange between my mum and the idiot teacher because this was so long ago, and my mum doesn't remember what exactly was said, just that she was extremely angry. I know she tore into my teacher because me and everyone who was present in class could hear my mum yelling through the phone. I think for the first time ever I saw my idiotic teacher actually nervous. After my mum tore the teacher a new one, the teacher brought me to the corner of the room and handed me a bag of Skittles, which she apparently had the entire time. It sucked being alone for the activity, but I happily did my assignment eating my packet of Skittles, knowing fully well my teacher was simmering at her desk, annoyed that a 7-year-old knew better than she did. Later it was revealed that my mum sent an email to the school's principal, which luckily for the idiotic teacher's case was my mum's second draft and had nicer words in it. That teacher had to do a refresher course on allergies by the nurse, which was shown to her already at the beginning of the year. I guess my school was desperate for teachers because she continued to teach at that school, even though she had other incidents. As much as I'd like to say I ate the M&Ms and watched as her career tanked, blowing up like a Thanksgiving Day parade balloon, I did not. As the wise Sid the Sloth said, "No thanks, I choose life."